Welcome, friends. Today, I've brought for you a deeply emotional story that will surely touch your heart. But before we begin, I have a small request. Please watch this video till the end. And don't forget to like, subscribe, comment, and share our YouTube channel, Soul of Kindness. It was a cold, rainy night. The sky was dark, and the sound of raindrops filled the lonely silence. On the side of a small wooden house, a board was taped up with the words, "Room for rent." The door slowly opened, and a single dad stood there. His shirt was damp from the rain. His face carried the weight of struggles, yet his eyes had a quiet strength. Behind him, inside the dimly lit room, a little boy sat on the floor with his toy truck, staring curiously at the door. And there she was, a young girl standing in the rain, her clothes soaked, her hair sticking to her face, her eyes red from crying. She clutched an old worn-out bag in her hand. Her voice trembled as she whispered, "Please, I need a place to stay. I have nowhere else to go." The father looked at her, then back at his little boy. His heart softened. In that moment, he felt this girl wasn't just a stranger asking for shelter. She might be the light his broken home had been missing. But what he didn't know was that this homeless, crying girl wasn't ordinary at all. She was the daughter of a millionaire CEO, a girl the world only ever saw living in wealth and luxury. And tonight she was standing at his doorstep, broken and alone. "Welcome, friends." The little boy slowly walked closer to the girl, still holding his red toy truck. His innocent eyes studied her face carefully. Then he stretched out his tiny hand and said softly, "Don't cry. Papa says crying makes hearts heavy. You can play with me if you want." The girl's lips trembled. She hadn't heard such pure kindness in a long time. She knelt down on the floor, her wet dress brushing the wooden planks, and gently took the little boy's hand. A small, fragile smile appeared on her face for the first time that night. "Thank you. You're very sweet," she whispered, her voice breaking. The boy giggled and placed his toy truck in her lap. "Now it's yours, but only for tonight," he said with a playful grin. The father watched silently from the corner, his heart tightening at the sight. This stranger, this broken girl, had somehow brought warmth into his son's eyes that he hadn't seen in so long. She looked up at the dad with tears still glistening. "Your son? He's so kind. I don't know why you both are helping me. You don't even know me." The father's voice was calm but steady. "Sometimes you don't need to know someone to help them. Sometimes you just see their pain, and I can see yours." Her chest rose and fell as she tried to hold back another wave of emotions. For the first time in years, she felt like she wasn't invisible, like someone finally saw her for who she was. Not her last name, not her wealth, not her broken past, just her. The little boy leaned against her, yawning. "Don't leave, okay? Stay with us," he murmured, his tiny voice full of trust. Her heart shattered and healed at the same time. She held the boy close, silently promising herself she would never forget this night. What none of them knew was that this small act of kindness was about to change all their lives forever. Like, subscribe, comment, share, and aapka apna channel, Soul of Kindness. Welcome, friends. The night grew quieter as the rain slowed outside. The girl sat on the old sofa, wrapped in a warm blanket the father had given her. The little boy had fallen asleep on her lap, his tiny hand clutching her dress as if he never wanted her to leave. She brushed a strand of hair from his forehead, her heart heavy yet strangely peaceful. For the first time in a long while, she didn't feel alone. The father placed 2 mugs of tea on the small wooden table and sat across from her. His eyes studied her face gently but with curiosity. "You don't have to tell me anything," he said, "but I can see you've been through a lot. If you ever want to share, I'll listen." Her fingers tightened around the edge of the blanket. For years, she had hidden her truth, ashamed of what her life had become. But something in his steady gaze made her feel safe. She took a shaky breath. "I wasn't always like this. Homeless, lost, crying in the rain." Her eyes shimmered with unshed tears. I come from a life most people dream of. Money, luxury, everything. But it was all a lie. My father, he's one of the biggest CEOs in the country. Everyone thinks I lived like a princess." Her voice cracked. "But no one knows how broken I was inside. The father leaned back, stunned for a moment. A millionaire CEO's daughter, in his small living room, wearing pain instead of diamonds. She looked down, ashamed. When I walked away from that life, I thought I was strong. But tonight, I realized I'm just a girl with nothing left. There was a silence, heavy yet gentle. Then the father spoke softly. You're wrong. You still have something left. You still have a heart that feels and a soul that seeks kindness. That's worth more than all the money in the world. Her eyes filled with tears again, but this time they weren't just from sadness. They were from hope. For the first time, she felt that someone wasn't looking at her for her last name, but for who she truly was. And deep inside, she knew this man and his little boy might just be the family she had been searching for all along. Like, subscribe, comment, share, and Aapka Apna channel, Soul of Kindness. The dad took a deep breath, then said softly, Come inside. You don't have to stay out in the rain. She stepped inside hesitantly. The small living room was modest. An old sofa, a little lamp casting a warm glow, and the sound of raindrops hitting the windows. The little boy, clutching his toy truck, looked up with wide, innocent eyes and asked curiously, Papa, who is this lady? The girl's eyes welled up with fresh tears. She quickly turned her face away, trying to hide the pain. The father walked over, handed her a towel and said gently, Dry your face. You're safe here. Those simple words broke her. She lowered her head and sobbed. I've lost everything. I have no home, no one left to call family. I was just looking for a place to survive the night. The dad stood in silence for a moment, his jaw tight, his heart heavy. He knew what pain felt like. He had lived through it too. He glanced at his son, then back at her, and finally said with quiet conviction, You don't just need a place to survive. You need a home. And if you want, this can be your home too. Her breath caught in her throat. She had never expected kindness like this from a man who didn't even know her name. For the first time in a long time, she felt a spark of hope. But what no one knew was that this broken girl, standing in a stranger's home, was in truth the daughter of one of the richest CEOs in the country. And now her fate was about to be forever tied to the single dad who opened his door on a rainy night. Welcome, friends. The room was quiet, except for the soft breathing of the little boy who slept peacefully. The girl gently lifted him and laid him down on the sofa, tucking the blanket around his small body. For a moment she just stood there, watching the child's innocence, wishing she could go back to a time when life was that simple. The father noticed the tenderness in her eyes. He doesn't usually trust people this quickly, he said softly. But with you, it's different. It feels like he's known you forever. She turned toward him, her voice trembling. Maybe because I know what it feels like to be lonely. Children can sense things adults try to hide. The father nodded slowly, his own past flashing through his mind. You're right. He lost his mother when he was very young. Since then, it's just been me. I try my best, but some nights, I wonder if love will ever fill this home again. His confession hit her heart like a wave. She saw strength in him, not the strength of wealth or power, but of survival, of quiet sacrifices. Her eyes glistened. You've already given him more love than most children with perfect families ever receive. And tonight, she hesitated, then added softly, You gave me a home when you didn't have to. The father's gaze lingered on her, the pain in her words echoing something he understood too well. Sometimes the people we help end up saving us instead. Her breath caught. She turned away, wiping her tears, but a small, fragile smile appeared. For the first time in years, she wasn't pretending to be strong. She was simply being herself, and it was enough. As the rain finally stopped outside, the house felt warmer than ever. None of them realized that destiny had just quietly tied their lives together. The single dad who had lost hope, the little boy who longed for love, and the millionaire's daughter who only wanted to be seen for who she truly was. Their story had only just begun, and it was already changing their hearts forever. Like, subscribe, comment, share, and Aapka channel, Aapka Apna channel, Soul of Kindness.